Alright, paver laying day. We got Omar here with us. Sam's on the camera. And I'm just going to explain to you real quick what we've done to establish pretty much the whole layout of how we're going to start laying pavers. We've made this whole area square for ourselves because this whole area is definitely not square. So we established 2 string lines on into the corners of this paver patio. And we just ran them straight. And then we used our true blue over here, which is our square. And we just held that with some pavers. And then ran 2 string lines down all the way so that we can make sure that we're perfectly square. And pretty much we're just going to start laying pavers almost on the square part, working our way out this way. And that's how we're pretty much going to start doing things, guys.
So now that we've established square in this backyard patio, we're going to start laying out the pavers along the string line. Once we've laid down all the pavers along the string line, we're just going to start working our way out. As we work our way down, we're going to keep checking that we're making sure that we're getting straight lines on our pavers. And the pattern that we're using for these pavers is called an I pattern. That's the layout for these pavers. And you can see right now, Omar is holding the string line from one end, and I'm in the blue shirt holding it on another, making sure that we got perfectly straight lines on this paver patio. I ended up just leaving one of the string lines up so I don't have to keep going back and checking. All I gotta do is butt up my next pavers right against that string line so I know that I'm perfectly straight. Also, the way that we set up the square, you can see it's like against the vinyl. It's a perfect fit for one paver, so that what that means is there's less cuts for the borders at the very end of the job. And you can see the other string line we set up is in the middle, and that is actually a crown point because we want optimal draining in this backyard patio / driveway. We want to make sure that all the water drains perfectly to the drains that we set up in the first part. And if you guys haven't seen the first part, I recommend seeing it just so you guys can get an idea of the preparation of a paver patio / driveway, because this is a divided driveway / patio. That's what those concrete brackets are for, those little concrete footers. They're going to be building a little fence right there to divide the patio from the driveway. Another nice little tip when you are laying out pavers is keep a floater on you, a concrete floater. It's just so you can float the sand, the fill sand below around you to make sure it's nice, flush, and level. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work my way back to the very starting point so that I don't have to keep walking all over the sand fill. So I don't have to keep regrading the sand as I'm moving. Oh, another little tip is keep a bucket next to you with sand in it. So if you have any low spots or high spots, you can either take it out or put more sand in. Now what's nice about the way we set this patio up for our square is we set two sides of this paver patio up so that we wouldn't have to make many cuts. You can pretty much slip a whole paver in on both sides of that house and the vinyl side. The rest we're probably going to have to cut, but two sides were perfectly square, and we made it so it'd be square about 8 inches off of the walls, and those pavers are about 8 inches long, so that when we do want to place those borders in, they'll fit perfectly. The most tedious part of doing pavers, I would have to say, is making all the cuts to fit into place. That's why I would say the layout is really important when you are setting up your paver patio, paver driveway, whatever it may be. It's important that you, when you do set it up, square it out as we did in this video, so that when it comes to the borders, you won't have to make so many cuts along the border. Because right now what we're doing against the vinyl is we're just slipping the paver in, butting it up right against the pavers we laid out for this paver patio. And we're going to be doing that the same against the house to the left of us in this camera view right now. But the other two sides of this paver patio slash driveway we will have to make cuts on, because those sides weren't perfectly squared. But overall, we saved a lot of work doing it this way. And if that doesn't make too much sense, guys, just let me know. Comment down below, and I'll try to clarify that as best as I can. Maybe in the next video, I'll do more GoPro footage, more live footage to really get in depth. But as we set our pavers in, we check level religiously, making sure that we're getting exactly the slope we planned on, which was about 2%, inch and a half, or 1.5% to 2% slope. That's what we aim for with pavers. And when we do have to make a cut side, what we do is we build out the pavers as far along to the edge as possible, and in the end, what we'll do is we'll grab a chalk line, snap a line across the pavers, and we'll just run a chop saw, cut all the excess pavers off, so that we can just slide our border pieces in nice and easy at the end. There will be a couple pieces that we will have to cut, but overall we're going to cut a lot of those just in one fell swoop. So here's the chalk line I was just talking about. Now that I've built those pavers out as far as they can go to the house, we snap a line, we measure off the house 8 inches back, and then snap a line from both sides so that we have a perfectly 8-inch border, which is the size of the pavers. We're about to start up the chop saw. We snapped our lines for the border. We learned from last time, it's way easier and faster just to cut all the excess pieces, lay out the pavers as far as you can to the border, then make your cuts instead of cutting everything on the table saw right over there. It's much faster this way. We learned from our last job. Not gonna make that mistake again. Here's our line. So you set it as far as we can. We'll mark it with the paver. This is gonna go underneath there. This will be going underneath this little area. So this is the fastest way to get all your cuts at once for the border pieces, and this is the way we like to do it. So we're going to go along the whole perimeter, cutting all of our pavers so that we can slip our border piece in nice and easy. Make sure you guys water your chop saws when doing this. It gets very dusty. Wear a mask. Silicon cancer, silicon dust, not good for you. So this is the only part of the paver project that we actually had to put concrete behind to really lock in the border. And then what we're doing right now is we're putting some acetone down on any spots where, when we did cut pavers, we'd bring the pavers to the spot they need to be, and they drip a little bit of a cement residue, so we use acetone to clean up those spots, and just with a sponge. The next thing we're doing right here is we're putting in a sand. It's a special type of sand so that it gets hardened as it gets wet. It's called Sherlock sand, and we get this from the place where we pick up our pavers. You can find it probably at any building material yard, I'm sure, that sells pavers. And what we're doing is we're just brooming all the Sherlock sand into all the crevices and cracks and joints of the paver patio. And once that's done, we just start to hit it with a compactor and really vibrate all the sand down to the bottom. And we'll brush in any spots that might seem like they're not getting filled as well. Typically what you want is about one bag for every 100 square feet. Also, if you have drains, tape your drains. You do not want the sand getting down there. Not a lot, at least. And then we just use a blower to blow all the rest of the sand off, or as much as we could. And then we hose the rest of the patio down, get it nice and wet, get that sand nice and hard locked in. And there's still a good amount of sand left, so we just scoop up a little bit left over and put in that wheelbarrow. Alright, here's the wrap up of the job, how it looks. Another beautiful job, guys. So I hope you guys like this video series, part 1 and 2. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and check out part 1. There will be a pop-up of it at the end of this video. Also, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave us a like, share, subscribe, or comment. Feedback is always appreciated. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. See you on the next one.
I got some pain.